2019, Albanian citizens will vote for their local governments, with President Meta decreeing the date amid political tensions, with the opposition stating elections cannot occur with a government linked to crime. Ramos Rucci pointed the finger at the opposition's boycott for delays in justice reform, and after constituting the independent commission tasked with monitoring justice institutions, Rucci called to proceed at a rapid pace. There are 317 objects that will be affected by the construction of the Great Ring Road, and 163 of those are in the process of legalisation but will be disqualified. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Monday the 5th of November 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. Local elections will be held next year on the 30th of June. The date was declared this morning by President Ilir Meta following a meeting with the Speaker of the Parliament, Ramos Rucci. The decree entered into force immediately, whereas in terms of the meeting in the media statement, it is said that the Speaker of the Parliament was acquainted with the President's consultations on the date for the upcoming local elections. The head of state's decision came after last week's talks with the parliamentary group chair, where the Socialists requested either the 23rd or the 30th of June. Meanwhile, the political situation remains heated, as even though the opposition has stated that it will take part in the elections, they note that there cannot be elections without disconnecting this government from crime. From the other side, the electoral reform is falling behind schedule, as the parties did not hold any special committee meetings for changing the code. Regarding the candidates, the opposition is likely to offer some well-known names. A similar notion was also portrayed some time ago by the chair of the Socialist Movement for Integration, Monica Kuramadi. After meeting with the President, Ilir Meta, the Speaker of the Parliament blamed the opposition for delays in the justice reform process. A statement was made by Ramos Rucci during the constitution of the Independent Commission for the Coordination and Monitoring of Law Enforcement by the law enforcement authorities. The Independent Commission consists of 5 members: Chair Artan Spahiu, Secretary Lindita Rusmaili, and members Petrit Ploci, Saimir Vishai and Irena Nino. The Supreme Judicial Council, Supreme Council of the Prosecution and Inspectorate of Justice are awaiting the vetting process in order to start their work. "163 objects that are in the process of legalisation and affected by the Outer Ring project will be disqualified by the Agency for Legalisation, Urbanisation and Integration of Informal Areas and Buildings. Albania's Road Authority Director, Afrim Cendro, Chief Inspector of the National Inspectorate of Defence of the Territory, Dalendushe Bici, and the Deputy Mayor of Tirana gave a press conference on the issue today. For the past 2 days, residents of the area of the Technology School at Eagle Square have been protesting because their facilities will also be demolished. Afrim Cendro appreciated their concerns but explained this is a very important project. "This is a project that will positively impact Tirana for the next 100 years. We have standardised and uniformed it all over. From Shkoza to the Eagle, there will be a Category A urban project with 3-lane crossings, one of which is a 3-metre-long emergency lane," explained Afrim Cendro. The director of the Albanian Road Authority advised as to the reason why intervention happened so quickly. Since the conclusion of the tender process, the 4 institutions, the Albanian Road Authority, the municipality, the Construction Inspectorate and the Agency for Legalisation, all went to identify and verify all objects affected by this project. "We have some other facilities for which there is no information, either because there were no residents or the residents did not want to provide the relevant information," continued Afrim Cendro. When asked how much the project costs, Cendro responded, "The total length of the Outer Ring is 27 kilometres. Until now, it has cost 26.5 billion lek, while for the project from the Eagle to Shkoza, it has yet to be forecast. For the part from Eagle to Shkoza, there was a preliminary project that was made in 2009 that will go through its revision phase, and at the moment the project has an accurate cost estimate, it will be advised," said Cendro. Within the week, the Construction Inspectorate will go to the ground and will leave all the legal practices. "We are in the initial phase of identification. All working groups will be on the ground for the initiation of the legal procedures until their decision-making," said Dalendushe Bici. The Kongresi Manastirit School in Kombinat has opened its doors as a community centre where young people can use sports grounds and school facilities for cultural and sporting activities during the afternoons and weekends. The head of the municipality of Tirana, Erion Veliai, praised their standard of work while emphasising the importance the municipality has placed on the education of children. I am delighted that the project that we have chosen for Unit 6 is going to be a success in other schools. We started at Betimucho and we are here continuing, and we will continue with other schools. I know maybe it's a little challenging to bring kids to and from a sport, but I do not think there is any other thing more important than the investment for the character of the kids after lessons by participating in sport, said Veliai. He stressed that such investments are a better opportunity to educate a healthy life for children, thus encouraging them to leave cafes and betting points and engage in sports. He appealed to parents to encourage their children to get involved in sporting activities. As parents, we all know that you should not just feed a baby, but also teach them to live and engage in sport, music, books, movies, theatre and outdoor walks. It is important to give spirit to Tirana through organised sports activities. Whether or not we are members of national teams, I believe we are all members of a team, being Team Albania or Team Tirana. Regardless of what direction your life takes, be it in sports or as engineers, doctors, politicians, or even as activists of this community, I am convinced that the lessons we learn from sport in our 62 gyms are the lessons we need all our lives, said Veliai. Mayor Erion Veliai welcomed the government's decision to stop all gambling through the removal of betting points in populated areas, stressing that it is the best decision for the citizens of Tirana as well. One of the best things that has been decided this year, and which comes into force on January 1st, is the closure of all betting points, bingo and casinos. I guarantee that 100% of women and children are delighted because they will see more of their dad in the house rather than having him wander around the neighbourhood losing the family money. I am convinced that Tirana gets a lot of money from this job, said Veliai, pointing out that the closing of betting points will have a positive impact on Albanian families. We've made a calculation and more money is spent by citizens at betting points than the entire municipal budget. By closing the betting points, the money remains with the family. Money for registering a child in sport or to learn a musical instrument, to take them for an activity, an excursion, to buy a movie or theatre ticket, to get a library membership, or even to buy new clothes. With the closing of betting points, every dad has been released from the 2-hour match back to the child and can focus on turning him or her into the next champion from Tirana, concluded Veliai. Veliai once again stressed that the Tirana municipality will continue to invest in sports facilities as well as in educational institutions. The Democratic Party has continued today with making charges against the Mayor of Durrës, Vanjush Dako. The Blue headquarters issued a press release with the chair of the DP's parliamentary group, Edmond Spaho, saying Vanjush Dako should be arrested for instances of vote buying with gang members during local elections. There has been at least 2 weeks past since Albanians saw evidence of the truthfulness of the Democratic Party in denouncing Vanjush Dako, who cooperated with the gangs of Durrës, using them to buy votes for his power and that of Edi Rama. Tapping of file 339 has shown that Vanjush Dako was in constant communication with the gangs before, during and after the election, exchanging wealth and power for their votes. The facts of Vanjush Dako's electoral crime are clear and, for this crime, he must be imprisoned. Only 3 wiretappings have been published, which are just the tip of the iceberg of the evidence that proves Vanjush Dako governs Durrës with the most dangerous gangs, just as Edi Rama governs the country with organised crime. Official prosecution wiretapping from file 339 highlights the close relationship between Vanjush Dako and the Avdulaj band, international drug traffickers from Latin America to Europe who used them in the campaign to buy the election. Vanjush Dako should be arrested without delay. Every day he destroys evidence and manipulates witnesses, fully assisted by Prime Minister Edi Rama. Dako's failure to be arrested is the clearest evidence of the state's capture by organised crime and the support of the criminal organisation of the Renaissance run by Edi Rama. Dako's failure to be arrested is proof of the total destruction of the serious crimes prosecution. We are ahead of a dramatic movement for the fate of justice in the country. There can be no justice or for social peace when they who protest are arrested, but criminals like Vanjush Darko remain free solely because they enjoy the support of the head of the government. In Albania, there will be no justice, no war against crime, and no normal development without punishing the electoral crime that gave the government to Edi Rama, declared Edmond Spaho. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.